Hello there and welcome to my Money Glitch Road to Glory episode 11. In the last video I asked you guys to comment any players you wanted me to buy in this episode, as it is the January transfer window, and you gave me loads and loads of suggestions. So I did add them all to my transfer list and did my best to sign as many or the most popular ones I could. So I really hope you enjoyed this video and thanks again for watching. Let's do this. So this is the shortlist as it is at the minute, with all the players that were from the last episode and also all the ones that you've commented so far. There are a few more that I kind of added as I was making this video, so these are just the ones that were there at the start. And we have about 3.3 million to spend at the minute, but that's not including our wage budget at the minute, but hopefully we will sell one or two players to give us some money to go out and buy the players you guys wanted me to. Our first game this episode is against Ipswich, and we sim it and win the game 2-1 with Zivkovic scoring twice. And then we play Birmingham at home and we win that game 2-0 with James and Vassell both getting on the score sheet 2-0. We do then receive an offer for Ratil, who is a player we signed as a free agent in the first season, and they've offered us 425,000, which we did accept, so hopefully he will sell soon. We then have a pretty major game, which is Chelsea in the FA Cup. It's the third round, so we have drawn a giant pretty much straight away. But, you know, we might be able to get a result in this game. You never know. Things don't start off too badly with a surging forwards, a little bit of skill. We chip the ball through. And then we cut in again with James. And he goes for the shot, but Courtois saves, parries it out, and we're not able to get anything in after that. We pick it up again, though. And we go for a finesse shot, but it's just past the post. It was nearly a beautiful start to the game, but unfortunately we couldn't quite score it. We're then going through again as we put a chip through ball, and James brings it down into the box. He fake shots, past another, he's tackled a bit, it comes back out, and then it comes out again, and we finish, and Courtois gets hands to it, but it's a soft touch and it just goes straight over him. It's into the back of the net, and it's 1-0 to Peterborough against Chelsea in the third round of the FA Cup final. That is crazy. And what's even crazier is that is actually how the game ended. We did beat Chelsea 1-0. There wasn't much to show you from this game, unfortunately, as it was pretty boring, and we spent most of our time defending our 1-0 lead after that. And we tried to just keep the ball for as long as possible, hence why we had such a big possession of 62. We literally did just pass it around the back for ages, just to not let Chelsea back into the game. Ratal does then sell to Blackburn Rovers for 425,000, but they only give us 350k of it. But that's alright, because every little bit of money we get is going to help us in our career. So him selling is good for us, as we should be able to buy some more players now. We also made the decision to sell Jack Butland for 6.5 million to St Etienne, as an offer does come in. He was worth about 2-3 million. I think we brought him for around that. So this offer, and it was hard to turn down, especially when you guys have suggested two keepers who I know I can get for a bit cheaper. There's Perrin, who's the more expensive option at 5,500. He's 23, but I think he's a bit higher rated. And then there's Scuffet, who's 19, and they're saying his value is only 900k. So that'll probably be the one we go with, but we'll see if we can sell any more players first. And Butland does then go and sell, and we get 5.5 million added to our current transfer budget for him, which isn't too bad, so we should be able to go and buy one of those keepers I just mentioned, and also some other players. Harry Wilson is also another player who's now left the club for 2.8 million, but we only get 2.4 for him, but that's alright. We brought him for I think 400k as one of our first players, so that's not a bad return after only 2 seasons, and to be honest, he's still quite young, so we might even buy him back at some point in this series. All these transfers have ramped us up to now having just over 11.5 million and about a 30k wage budget, so we should be able to go and buy some players. And the first player we are going to be trying to buy is Yuri Tillemans, who was probably the most popular player you guys suggested. He was mentioned a lot, and he's 76 rated, 18 years old. How can we turn that down? Hopefully we can get a really good offer for him, because I think he's actually close to the end of his contract. We then draw 1-1 away to Wigan, which isn't a bad result, and Zivkovic is on the score sheet again there. And then beating Wolves 2-1 at home, with Zivkovic getting injured in this game, which is a little bit annoying. And unfortunately the news does then come through that he is going to be out for 4 months, which now puts a little bit more pressure on us in this transfer window to bring in some more strikers, as we're obviously going to have to fill the gap that's going to leave for 4 months as well. The strikers we'll be looking at to bring to the club is this Jose Pozo, who was another player you guys suggested. He's 67 rated, but he is 19, and supposedly he grows extremely quickly. So hopefully he will if we do eventually buy him, and he's quite cheap as well, which is really good for us. And then another player we're also looking at is Sado Berahino, obviously 75 rated, 22 years old. And the main reason we're looking at this guy right now is because he's told West Brom that he wants to leave the club. So he should be going relatively cheaply. So hopefully we can maybe get him to join us if we offer him a little bit of a higher wage and save on the transfer fee. Alexander Alexandrov then sells to West Brom. He's got an unbelievably dumb name. I don't even know why you call your son Alexander if your last name was Alexandrov, but it wasn't my decision. But yeah, he sells for 1.1 mil. And he was a pretty easy player to sell, as I don't think he's ever played for the team. I didn't actually know he was worth that much, otherwise I'd probably have sold him sooner. That leaves us with just over 13 million to go out and buy some new players. And that is exactly what we do go and do. We then sell Yuri Tielemans for 3.3 million plus Kyle Vasali. So it was a deal worth a 4.5 million in the end, which isn't too bad. After buying him, it left us with just around 10 million. And I hope that is a player you guys are happy with me buying, as it did seem to be quite a popular player that you wanted me to have. So I think we'll probably put him in the central attacking midfielder position. And like I say, he didn't have too long left on his contract, and it told us that he was affordable and the player was keen. So it was a really good signing for us. With us selling Butland, we needed to bring in a keeper, and we did decide in the end to bring in Simeon Scuffet, who does look to be an extremely good keeper. Once again, a player you guys suggested, and we were able to buy him for 1.5 million plus Joe Newell. So that was worth about 3 million in the end, which isn't too bad of a deal. We also then brought Berahino to the club for 3.4 million and a 30k wage. We did have to pay him a little bit more than he's usually on, but that's alright. And then we also brought Jose Pozo to the club for 250k plus John Taylor. So that was worth about $1 million, but not a bad deal in the end. And that left us with 2.2 million. So we didn't really have any money to bring too many more players to the club, and we were almost out of time. So yeah, that pretty much seals up our transfer window business, and this is the team we are left with. So we have Scuffet in goal, Ike, Zuma, Lecallis and Bellerin at the back, exactly the same as it was before. And then Chalobah now in central defensive midfield with Ibe on the left, Gabri on the right still, and then Tielemans as our centre attacking midfielder, and Berahino and Pozo as our front two. Obviously Pozo will drop out when Zivkovic is back fit, but obviously he's out for 4 months, so that is going to be a while, and Pozo might even be able to keep his place in the team. Up next is the 4th round of the FA Cup, and we do have Crystal Palace, so this is going to be a pretty difficult game, but hopefully it will prepare us a little bit more for next season, as we are looking to be in the Prem. We pick up the ball, chipping it through, Berahino's through, and he's through on goal. He somehow gets through this challenge, and then the keeper is just left standing as he slots into the goal, scoring on his debut, which is pretty awesome. Crystal Palace, unfortunately though, do get back into it, passing it through, breaking through our defence, who for some reason just gave up, and they managed to equalise in the 81st minute. It's the 90th minute now, and we're pushing forward. We've gone into ultra attack, and Yuri Tielemans, the guy you guys wanted me to sign, comes through and wins us the game, taking on a player, slotting it in. What a beauty, what a great signing. You guys are the best. And that is how the game ended, 2-1 to us, away to Crystal Palace in the FA Cup, so we're through to the next round, which is just awesome. And look at that, Yuri Tielemans got man of the match with a player rating of 8.5. What a signing, I literally am so pleased with this guy. And like I say, now the transfer window is open, and we've done really well actually ending in a profit, even though we've increased our wage budget quite a bit with players like Berahino and Scuffet. They were on quite high wages, about 30k each, I think. So yeah, so we sold just under 11 million worth of players, and we brought in about 8.5 mil. So that's not too bad. And then we get the bad news that Hector Bellerin has suffered an injury, which is going to keep him out for 3 months, which is going to put us through a little bit of trouble, as we don't have too many defensive players in the squad, which is pretty annoying, but I'm sure we'll cope. In the next game, we draw 1-1 at home to Sheffield Wednesday. Obviously, with Bellerin being out, we had to play Zelalem at right back. So I think we're going to have to rejig the team a little bit to sort these issues out. But then we tried James at right back, as for some reason it suggested him as a sub to play there. And we did actually go on and win the game 2-0. So that's not too bad. And then James also makes an appearance at right back again, and we actually win the game 2-0 again at home to Brighton. So maybe James is supposed to be a right back. You never know. And then away we beat Brentford 2-1, so we're now on a pretty good win streak. I don't think we've lost a game in quite a while now. And those results keep us at the top of the table with 73 points, now with a pretty decent gap to Leicester City in second. So we are looking in a really strong position in this league to get promoted up to the Premiership. Now we focus back onto the Euro League, and we have Lokomotiv away in the round of 32. This is going to be an extremely difficult game, as I know this team have a lot of pace. Ike is surging through, and he finds Berahino, who shrugs off a challenge, and they bring him down as he's running through, probably going to score. To be honest, I think it should have probably been a red, as it was a pretty dangerous challenge, but they didn't give it, and Berahino takes the free kick. It's a pretty decent one, but the keeper is able to save it, unfortunately. We come extremely close when a series of deflections somehow land the ball at Ike's feet, and he smashes one, hitting the crossbar. They come pretty close, taking on, getting to the byline, putting one in. They aren't able to header it, but they then pass it around in our box, and Scuffit is able to make a pretty decent save from this shot, which is pretty close to him, so it was really good reactions. They do then break straight through on goal, with Nasty coming through, but Scuffit runs out and is able to get a save on it. We then clear it, but it comes back out to their player, and then for some reason the referee gives a penalty against us. I'm not sure why, I don't actually know what we did wrong, but for some reason it's a penalty, and it's the same guy who steps up, fakes, and then puts it into the top left hand corner, and there's nothing we can do about that, and he celebrates like he's just scored an absolutely beautiful goal, but we've just been done over by the computer. They then go and make things worse, coming through on the edge of the box. They find a player in a bit of space, he cuts in, they pass it around for a little bit, trying to embarrass us, and then somehow get into this player right in the centre of our box, who just passes it into the back of the net and goes off and does a little bit of a knee slide. Unfortunately, that is how the game ended, 2-0 to them away, so we don't have the away goal going into the next leg, but that will be the start of the next episode, as this is where this video is going to be ending. I hope you are happy with the players I've added to the team this episode. Thank you again for all the comments on the last video, it really helped me out a lot. And also just a point, if you commented and I haven't got your player, they are written down and they are in my shortlist, and I will be getting them as soon as I can. It's just we didn't have enough money to get them there, but when we get into the Prem, hopefully we'll have a lot more money, so I will be able to buy a lot more players. So thanks again for that, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, it would be great if you could give it a big thumbs up. Comment anything you want below, and also hit that subscribe button to make sure you never miss a video. And thank you again for watching, and I will catch you at the next video. Thank you again for watching, and bye.